Violence in all its forms is abhorrent and must be strongly condemned and punished. When violence touches our innocent children who have their entire lives ahead of them and robs our country of their potential, all of society must stand up and say enough is enough.
On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on. A blessed and wonderful Wednesday evening to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I have some speeches. One from the Prime Minister, Holness. And the one that I really need for you to pay attention to is the one by Member of Parliament on the opposition bench, Lisa Hanna. And then again, another one from Prime Minister Holness. I would really like for you to take some time to listen keenly to what the Prime Minister had said, and then what Lisa Hanna had said, and then again to what the Prime Minister had said, and drop some comments in the comment section as it relates to especially what Lisa Hanna was saying. Now, just listen.
Information coming to us so far from our police sources is that a gunman alighted from bushes and shot up a taxi, a public transportation vehicle. Apparently, there was someone who was the target. That person was killed. But two innocent young Jamaicans, one 9 years old, one 7, students, have nothing to do with any conflict, are not a part of any dispute, just innocent children going about their own business, looking forward to their lives, their future, and they were gruesomely cut down. I think the Parliament should stand in condemnation of this. It is important that each time that this happens, we declare and reinforce that our nation does not stand for this. It doesn't reflect us. It has arisen from a gang feud. The people who are responsible are gang members. And they have used high-powered weapons indiscriminately in a public space with what can only be assumed to be the intention to create fear and panic in the country. In my opinion, Madam Speaker, it is the equivalent of a terrorist act. And these criminals ought to be described and treated in that form. I want to give the assurance to the nation that the government will do everything within its powers to bring the perpetrator to justice. But in a sense, that might be hollow, because it will not bring back the life of the two young Jamaicans who we have lost. My heart goes out to the parents who at this time, and their family members and loved ones, and the children at the school. We cannot explain to them why this has happened, but we must be steel in our resolve to ensure that it doesn't happen again. We have it within our purview in this House to create the deterrence, to use the laws to create the deterrence.
I think when the Prime Minister saw my face when he was making the statement, he realized I was frustrated. And I think all of us are frustrated in here because it feels like an echo chamber at this point, because we come here so often to decry, bemoan, and pay condolences to victims of violent crimes. But the situation is even more dire. I mean, there was about 3 weeks ago, during the week, 32 Jamaicans were murdered. And if you look at the international benchmark of what a civil war is, it is 30 per 100,000.
Member, you're now venturing into other areas.
No, Madam Speaker, I'm not. The reason why I mentioned that, and it is really 52, we're at 52 murders per 100,000 in Jamaica. Prime Minister, the reason why I mention it is this. We often come to Parliament to talk about laws, Bail Act, Firearms Act. And Madam Speaker, the reason why I mention the statistics, and if the Minister of Information, I believe, would allow the Speaker to hear, there is a real form of post-traumatic stress disorder that our children are facing in this country. And psychiatrists will tell you that if children are exposed to enough trauma, they develop psychoses, they develop paranoia, they develop mental illnesses where they get hallucinations and delusions. And sometimes those become permanent in their early 20s. I raise it because we never seem to tackle the real elephant in the room, which is that many of our children, first of all, are devoid from making moral decisions because they're not taught how to make decisions, and they grow up with a particular element of how to deal with conflict. If you have a young man, Prime Minister, or beating another one over his shoes, nearly unconscious, you realize at the point we're at. I grieve for this country. All of us do. Because even though we have and we believe that we are safe, we could be in a situation where a gunshot is fired and we get caught in the crossfire. Buju Banton have a song where it says, step up. And it is, solid composure, youth, your head can't sick. Woman and picnic still off limits. That no longer exists in Jamaica. Everybody going to get mowed down. Once they feel that you've done something to them, we are at a mental illness crossroads in this country. Never before am I witnessing the kinds of crimes, violent crimes, sick crimes, contract killings. It is almost a den of destruction that we're living in. And so, Prime Minister, every time a child is killed, are we going to come here? I've said before, you have a committee, you have a commission that is looking at some of the socio-economic, socio-cultural, mental health issues. It has Dr. Maureen Sams-Vaughan, Dr. Herbert Gale. It is a bipartisan commission. You've established it. The committee needs to hurry up with its work. There are preventative measures that need to be put in place. And I'm asking you, I don't want to come back here. If it means, and I've said before, Madam Speaker, can we all even have a joint, can we come to Parliament for one day as parliamentarians and try and sift through all of the different elements that we must do? Let us show the country once and for all that we mean business. Let us take a 2-day retreat. We'll do constituency presentation, we'll do sectoral, we'll do a whole heap of something when the picnic them are dead off. And I'm tired. The Prime Minister is tired. The whole of we, you're tired. But we still come and we do it. So, Madam Speaker, that commission needs to come to Parliament and present. I know the Prime Minister implemented it. I want to see what recommendations they have. That commission has actually said, Dr. Herbert Gale says it's going to take 15 years, a generation to change it. A whole generation, but we have to start. Or you're going to have more children's throats being slashed and people doing all kinds of things. So the 3 questions, Madam Speaker, and thank you for your indulgence and for your latitude. When will that commission complete its deliberation? Can the Parliament come together as a bipartisan room to sift through those urgent pieces of legislation that we must get going? And 3, and I know there are committees that do it, but I think we can fast track some things in the urgency. And Prime Minister, 3, what can we do as a Parliament to demonstrate to the people that we serve that we really mean business in terms of people who kill. Because up in Top House Hall in Clarendon, you know, them kill a 82-year-old man and chop him up. 82 on Sunday. Why you not go just thief the man things and leave? You have to chop him up? Why? So what can we do as a parliament? Let us not keep coming back here ad nauseum, Prime Minister. Let us do something urgent and critical on behalf of our people.
My own view on the penalty for murder has evolved. I never a supporter of the death penalty. But the more I study this matter and begin to understand the minds of the criminals, there are no souls there. They have no heart. They need to be removed from among us. But I'm not here to get into a debate about jurisprudence on this matter. Within the limits of that jurisprudence, I believe the highest penalty possible should be applied. And currently, the penalties now are not a deterrent. They are terrorists, and they must be treated as such. What occurred is an act of terror. This is not what is acceptable in a free and democratic society.